I met a gypsy.
What do you think the difference is between Jet and Sexton? Because, I mean, I think the 250 is a weird gauge because they're faster than the 250s. Mm-hmm. Like, in terms of they want more. It's like, go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you go, like, do it, go. But on a 450, you've got everything that you need. So I think that Jet's efficiency and those mechanics, they come into play so much more because he was tapped out on that little bike, and it's almost like he's trying to push the thing to keep it. Yeah,
the 450 definitely helps with his weight, because I'm sure he's about 180 pounds, you know, and also his approach, very smooth, very calculated, very precise. Sexton has the same thing. I just see, for me, I see more technique the problem. So when Sexton goes hard and this and that, he kind of has a little bit of a butt tuck and he starts to round into the motorcycle, and then you see that motorcycle start to bounce around a little bit more. Yeah, I feel if he would straighten, this is where I think you see a better Sexton in Supercross, because he doesn't have to race so hard. He can still kind of just float through the track, so he can keep that style.
More technical.
The back is usually more straight. The hips are more out. There's more extension on the bike, is what I see in Supercross. This year, I think. I just think it was kind of a weird thing coming off Supercross, winning the championship, you know, and then got hurt, and then came back and then wanted to beat Jet so bad that he almost overrode a little bit. Yeah, you know what I mean. I had a talk with them too. I said because after Bud's Creek, I said I sent a message to him because the last 10 minutes of the second moto he was just on fire, ripping, and I said and I sent a message. I said, guess you found your flow again. I go, sometimes it takes time, because, you know, what I saw at the last 10 minutes was the real chase. The chase that I'm seeing is wanting to beat Jet so bad that you're almost riding a little bit tense. Yeah. And not trying to make a mistake that you are making mistakes. And this one, you just let it go. And he goes, thank you, Ryan. Thank you. He goes, that's exactly what it was. And so I thought for sure the following race that he was going to beat him, you know, at Ironman. Yeah. I was gonna post something to him like, okay, he's gonna beat him, and then the race got ended. I'm like, damn, good thing I didn't say that. But yeah, just because I saw that second moto, how he rode, we talked. He said, yeah, you're completely right. And then I thought, okay, cool. He found his flow again, because sometimes that's all it is. It's like you're just in this little bit of a box, you know what I mean? The cover closed, and then finally you break out of it and go, oh shit. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And it just sometimes takes one moto, one lap, one something. Yeah. And but you know, yeah.
What one of the things that I think I see, and as someone, I'm an amateur enthusiast of motorcycle technique. I'm not Ryan Hughes, but one thing that I see as a big difference, and I've spoke to Chase a lot, because I think, you know, up until this outdoor season, Chase Sexton was the benchmark of technique. There was nobody in the world would have said that anyone was better than Chase, and then Jet come along and was like, I can just go 1% better. Yep.
His more to me, more of his body's opened, you know. His hips are more opened up, his legs are more straight, his back's a little bit more straight. So now you're allowing the arms to be looser. And whenever that bike goes sideways, now the whole body can move. So the hips can move, and then when you round your back like Sexton was doing a little bit outdoors, you round it. Well, it's like it's putting a steel bar from here to your hips. Yeah. But your spine opened up has mobility through every vertebrae. So even if because you don't a tree sways, but you don't see where it's swaying at. So the back, you know, the spine will sway, but you don't see it so much. So even if Jet has a little bit, well, that's more than that. Yeah. Now you're doing this. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So just these little things, and also straighten your legs up. You see a lot of guys like a Hampshire, a couple other guys that ride bent-legged. You know, they never extend. Their arms are always half cocked. Their legs are always half cocked, so they're always stuck into the bike. Yeah. Yes, and this is why they get thrown off so much. Yeah, but it's in like contraction. Yes, but Jet's standing, because again, you can't be in that motorcycle bending knees forward and pushing back or pulling up and not have your arms tight. Yeah. So Jet straightens up more. So now the motorcycle's doing this. Yeah. You know, he's not in the motorcycle and having to do counterbalance it so much, which I see those guys coming. To me, that comes from neck braces.
Yeah.
You know, because I don't think those kids ever wore them.
Yeah.
I doubt
so one thing that I see is you're really splitting hairs, but I feel like so Chase's crashes happen kind of just past the halfway mark of the turn, and then he loses that front end traction. And through my conversations with him and like we're talking about it, he would say like the most pressure I feel on the motors, because as my biggest interest was like, what's the most pressure you feel on the motorcycle? Where's the point that you're the tightest connection to it?
Yeah.
And he would say feet. Like his feet are the thing. He generates so much force through the motorcycle with his feet.
Yep.
And so we did the podcast like kind of after you did, and then I went away and I was like, I want to figure out what makes it so that when I'm riding, I feel the bike the most through my feet. Yeah. And I think that watching the outdoors this year, you could see, and from doing it myself a little bit, like you can feel how much force you can put through the bike, but it seems like Jet is unloading that weight in like the rough braking bumps coming into the turns. And that's why I don't think you never really see him losing the front and having those crashes, is because the bike's so light and free. I think Chase has, so like I was living in Dubai at the start of the year, and it was fucking awesome. Like the craziest sand track, like 100 kilometer an hour whooped out straights. And like when you push away from the motorcycle with your toes, but your head's over the bar pad and you're like spreading that weight out, that's the position that they're getting in. Dude, you can feel the force, like the bike will kick in the sand, and you can feel that it's just so locked and rigid and not going anywhere, and the suspension's working and you're staying straight, you can accelerate. But then it's almost like Jet finds that he has that level of force and traction when he's under acceleration, but then once he gets into the bumps, he finds a way to like pick it up and float. And it seems like to me Chase stays in that pressure force mode, and it feels like that to me is what makes that front goes, because there's still force and you're on an angle, and then that's when you need flex and chassis in it. And if you're forcing and keeping so much rigidity in there, then maybe that's some of the reason why he's having those issues.
Yeah, I think the one of the biggest things is one. Yes,
don't know if any of that makes sense. Sorry.
No, it makes total sense. So, you want to control the motorcycle at the lowest point possible from bike to ground, and that's at the foot pegs, closest to the rear wheel, because that means you're controlling 90% of the motorcycle. You want to be on your toes, so then you have softness from the first point of contact from body to bike. You want to squeeze with your ankles, because if you're on your toes and you're squeezing with your ankles, you're probably only this far away from the rear wheel, right? So when you squeeze there, well, then you can be loose up here. If you don't squeeze down here, you got to be tight up here. And if you're tight up here, this will never control the rear end of the motorcycle. That's why there's separation in it. You have to have separation to ride a motorcycle, right? And that's where your hips come in. So when you see Jet, every time he hits a jump, pop. Every time he lands, pop. Every time he hits a braking bump, pop. Every time he accelerates, pop. He initiates at the hips, because if I initiate the hips, that's allowing traction to go to the rear wheel. It's allowing the upper body to go forward with the direction of the motorcycle, and that's allowing my core to come into play, because now it'll stabilize me, and it'll allow looseness in the back end. Won't affect me from the upper half. Now, if I'm hunched or tucked, all that's going to be an issue, right? So now let's talk about Chase. What I see with Chase and with Jet, going off what you observed, is that Chase is maybe going gas to brake, where gas and then brake and then gas, and so that's causing transition. Where Jet comes in roll. Where Chase is maybe coming and then and get on the gas real quick. Kind of Eli, kind of this style, right?
And because he's a beast physically too.
Yeah, he's a big dude. So what I'm saying is, so that would make more transitions, is going brake gas instead of brake, roll. I guess I'll roll a little bit more with a little pop of the throttle, and then I'll get on the gas. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it doesn't matter how fast I come in the corner if I come to a stop. Doesn't matter how slow this person comes in the corner. If he has constant momentum, they're probably always going to meet at the same spot. Yeah. But you're always going to have better traction with constant momentum, Stephen Everts. You know what I mean? You're not going to have these transitions where you see mistakes like you see maybe Barsha because he's too aggressive. Roar, roar. You know what I mean? Where Jet, the bike, you don't even see the bike, you don't even see it move. You know what I mean? It doesn't do this or this, right? And so I think that's the biggest thing is just the more how much roll he has.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think he really uses the front brake sometimes coming in the corner, which you wouldn't need to.
Yeah.
A lot of times you don't need to. That offsets the bike a little bit.
Yeah.
So I would say from Chase, it's a little bit more of that because brake and then gas, you know?
We're excited to announce the launch of our new membership site, gypsytales.com, packed with exclusive content and perks that you won't find anywhere else. This is your chance to become a part of the Gypsy Gang. And as a special bonus, if you sign up to an annual membership, you'll be entered into the draw to win our custom-built TC125. Gypsy Gang.